Hi there, folks. Malachi here from Leaf and Stem. It is currently 12:40 a.m. Yeah, currently 12:40 a.m. and I uh, am going to take on a small task that I've been putting off since I've moved here to Bloomington. And maybe this will shed some light on how jumbled my brain's been, and specifically when it comes to tobacco. So today I will be unboxing the tobacco that I packed from my last place. I would like to eventually make a dedicated display for my pipes and my tobacco, but this apartment is sort of a transient place, and I don't really have a nice piece of furniture to use as a pipe display yet. So for now, I am going to use this small white coffee table that used to be our primary coffee table, but now we have set aside. Um, and so it'll be a good staging place for all of my tobacco business. Um, so to assist me in this task, I got a bowl of wonderful Samuel Gawith Full Virginia Flake. This pipe typically is reserved for my cherry tobaccos because, as you can see, it has like a deep red sort of finish. Definitely stained to some degree, as you might be able to see. Very vibrant red there with some deep black interspersed throughout. So I was looking through my pipes one day. I wanted to smoke some Colt Blood Red Moon, and this just struck me as looking like a black cherry inspired pipe for some reason. So I said, from now on, this can be my dedicated cherry tobacco pipe. And seeing as my only cherry tobacco is Colt Blood Red Moon, this has been a dedicated Colt Blood Red Moon pipe since I got it and restored it. However, tonight I am enjoying some tart cherry juice. Yeah, this is usually a cherry pipe. Thought I'd explain why it's a cherry pipe and why it's not a cherry pipe tonight. Anyway, I'm going to get this toasted and I'll be back with you guys. So, as stated, I'm going to place everything aside here on this coffee table. There won't be any particular rhyme or reason to it. I think I'm going to start with the jarred tobacco, just for simplicity's sake, because that's the stuff that's a little bit all over the place, and so I can just get that all sort of lined up and figured out, and then I will get into the tens so we can finish off with some pretty art. So I think I'll do my best to group them by category over here, but we'll just play it by ear. So I have a good charring light here on my Blood Red Moon. I'll get that started again. Sorry, my Full Virginia Flake. I'm just so used to smoking Blood Red Moon out of this pipe. So, to begin with, I think there are a couple empty jars in here, so I'll set those aside. Just the one empty. Good on me. Not wasting space in my jars. Firstly, and this is appropriate because this was in my first order of tobacco, my first online order from smokingpipes.com. It is 2 ounces of Cornell and Deal's Bayou Morning. So I have minimal experience with this blend. I've had maximum 5 bowls. I got it. The only thing I had smoked before this was Captain Black, and I was raring to get some real tobacco. So this was in the order. I got into the bag. I smelled it. It was peppery. It was spicy, and I was excited. I was like, this smells a lot more intriguing than anything I'd smelled so far, because everything that I'd smelled so far is, Captain Black and my grandma's cigarette tobacco when I was a kid, which is an important memory. Anyway, I get into the Bayou Morning. I'm excited by the smell. I pack me a pipe, light it up, and am smacked in the gob by Perique. Big old punch of Perique right in my face. Peppery, um, peppery, funky, spicy. Perique. If you have had a vapor, a good solid vapor, and if you're an enjoyer of vapor, especially, you know what I'm talking about when I say I got a big old smack of Perique in the mouth. And I can't say I hated it, but it definitely caught me off guard. And so sort of recoiled from that. I had some Sutliff black raspberry. I'll get into all this later. Anyway, yes, very little Bayou Morning. However, I do look forward to opening this tin, opening this jar. It has been sealed up for coming on 6 months now. And so hopefully by the time I open it up, it'll have some fun complexities going on. I think this might be a next spring tobacco. Seems like a spring sort of thing to me. I don't know. Morning, spring. So I'll set this aside, and this will begin our vapor category, which will be just out of frame there. We have, that's a good one. Also Cornell and Deal's Byzantium. You might have trouble reading this. The lighting's a little strange. But this is Cornell and Deal's Byzantium. Another Balkan blend, very similar to the Star of the East that I've been smoking here recently, though I don't believe Byzantium has any Virginias whatsoever. I think Byzantium is strictly Orientals and Latakia. And it is a good smoke. I've had maybe 5 bowls of it and enjoyed all the bowls that I had pretty thoroughly. I did a first impression of that here on the channel, and you can go back and watch that if you would like to get my first impression on Byzantium. And as a quick update, I'm still enjoying it. It's a good tobacco. I don't smoke it very often just because I have a lot of variety right now as far as things open, and so I need to give it a little more attention. But it's definitely not gone unappreciated. Good blend. To continue the Cornell and Deal Oriental theme, or Balkan theme, we're gonna go with Star of the East. Star of the East featured, and I think my last video as the tobacco I was smoking. It's a good, simple, straightforward Balkan sort of blend. I think it has Virginias as opposed to the Byzantium, and maybe because of the Virginias, there's a less of an Oriental tang in Star of the East. But Star of the East is a tried and true blend, and you'll hear a lot of heavy enjoyers of this blend, and a lot of people who rank it pretty highly on their list of Englishes. I do have a different form of Star of the East, which I'll talk about here in a bit. So that's going to go aside here. So I have the Bayou Morning off in the corner by itself for the vapors, and the English will start up right here. Okay. These are good. This is Sutliff 507C Virginia Slices. I was looking for an affordable Virginia blend. I really was curious about getting into new Virginia blends because a lot of them are pretty steeply priced, namely Samuel Goblis Full Virginia Flake or Capstan Blue, which I do not have any of yet. So I was thinking, what is something that might match up to these that I could get at a reasonable bulk price? And I heard a lot. I actually think I tried 507C randomly. I think I was just looking through smokingpipes.com for my first sample of 507C. I liked the way it looked. I had Orly Golden Slice at that time. I liked the flake form. And so I was like, I'll try an ounce of this. That won't hurt. So I got the 507C, enjoyed the 507C, and then learned that this is like one of the heavy hitter bulk blends that people like to stock up on for affordability and just for sheer quality to go along with affordability. So I have, I think, 10 ounces of 507C jarred up like this in 4 2.5 ounce jars of 507C. So here's one. I will another. And here are the rest. 507C. So these are our pure Virginias. They will go over in this corner. And I guess the vapors can go over here next to them. Obviously, I didn't have any of this planned out or organized beforehand. But that's how I roll, apparently. That's how I do things on here. We will go with 707 Sweet Virginia. This is very similar to the 507C, and in fact, it might be the same components as 507C, except this is broken into a ribbon. I believe it might have the slightest topping of some sort of honey or sweetener. It might be a placebo because it's called 707 Sweet Virginia, and so I might have just developed that taste strictly based on the name. That might have happened, but I don't remember all the complexities of this. I had very few bowls of it. It was kind of just another thing that I decided to try out, and I enjoyed. I smoked it maybe for a week on and off, and then kind of fell into the rotation of all these wonderful blends that I don't pay enough attention to. So 707 Sweet Virginia is going to go over here with the 507C. All right. Moving along. This is a combination, 1 ounce each, of Sutliff's 515 RC1 and 507S. 507S is very similar to 507C because it is the same tobacco, actually, except it's stoved. It's stoved, and so that gives it a richer character, a richer, deeper, roastier character, similar to a Latakia. It undergoes a similar process to Latakia, but doesn't have the same aging qualities or aged qualities that Latakia has. And I don't know. I'm not going to go into too much detail because, frankly, I'm not familiar with too much detail, and I don't want to sound like an ass. But 507S is just stoved 507C, and 515 RC1 I think is, I think it's a red Virginia. I think it's like a tangier red Virginia, and I heard that these are a good blend together. So I busted them up, put them in this jar. I busted them up, sort of mixed them up together, put them in this jar, and I took some implement, I don't remember. I think I might have used the end of another jar or something slightly smaller, and I compacted it as tight as I could into the jar. So I didn't actually cake it, but I got as close as I could to a cake. But obviously, it's fluffed up a little bit, so that wasn't very effective. But this has been marinating in the jar for maybe 3 or 4 months now, since the big 507C and Samuel Gawith Full Virginia Flake opening. And so this has had a few months to meld, so I'm sure it'll be plenty blended by the time I get around to it. So I think this would classify as a straight Virginia, so that's going to go over here. Next, we move on to PS400, Peter Stokkebye's PS400 Luxury Navy Flake. I have not tried this one. This might be one of my most anticipated tobaccos. I don't even know if it made the list of top 7 most anticipated tobaccos, just because I have so much stuff that I look forward to. But Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Navy Flake might be one of the top 3 most anticipated. I've had very few vapors. I've had this Bayou Morning, very little of which, as I've said, and I've also had Orla Golden Slice, which is arguably a vapor. I hear a lot of stuff about it maybe not even being a vapor, but it's in the ingredients, and I will take the blender's word for it. It's got a lot of hype, and I think it'll be my first Peter Stokkebye tobacco, so I'm excited for that too. I love flakes. I love Virginias, so I look forward to Peter Stokkebye's Luxury Navy Flake, and I would like to get some Luxury Bullseye Flake eventually as well. Okay. This is Sutliff Heavy English. Sutliff Heavy English is very similar to like a Balkan Sobrani or like a My Mixture 965. Just a very rugged, straight up, got a good dose of Orientals, good dose of Latakia. It's just like a very, representative English blend. That's going to go back here with the English blend. Here we go. Since we're talking about it, we got Peterson's My Mixture 965. Classic. Previously, why am I spacing? Dunhill's 965. That was many years ago, maybe over a decade ago. So definitely no experience with Dunhill 965, though I love the Peterson stuff. That's going to go back here. with the English blends, which you can no longer see, but we'll have a shot of all this at the end. All right, moving on. 7Cs. Mac Baren 7Cs. This is a good straight up aromatic tobacco, good codger blend, maybe. Maybe a little bit higher quality than your standard codger blend, but it could be classified as one. And a lot of people will say that this is just like a classier Captain Black. I don't really notice all that much difference between this and Captain Black, though I do like to just pack it up and smoke it every now and then. One of those tobaccos you don't really have to think too much about. It'll give you something to puff on. So that's going to go over in the aromatic corner, which you cannot see. Here we have Orlik Golden Slice, which I'm running perilously low on. Orlik Golden Slice was my second tin tobacco in that first order tobacco with the Bayou Morning, the Peterson 965. Orlik Golden Slice is a special tobacco, really special tobacco. I really love this as my first Virginia blend. I would classify this as my first straight Virginia blend. There's that weird thing with the Virginia Perique, but I never detected any Perique personally. And I don't doubt that it's in there, but I don't personally taste it, so I just classify this as a regular old Virginia. Introduced me to flake tobacco, introduced me to good tin tobacco. I have the tin laying around here somewhere. Here we go. I have kept all my tins so far because I love them. I love the art of the tins. I want to do something with the tins, even if it's just hanging them up on a wall or making a display out of them. I love my tins. I'm going to keep those around. So we have Orlik Golden Sliced. Very little left of that. And I almost shed a tear when that's gone. So that's going over here in the Virginia corner. Let's be pedantic and put it in the vapor corner. Ooh, this one is special because it was very special to someone who inspired me to even take up the pipe in the first place. When I first started learning about pipe tobacco, I knew nothing about the topic. And so I consulted YouTube, where I go to learn everything. And this is why I wanted to make a YouTube video of my own, a YouTube channel of my own. And one of the premier tobacco channels on YouTube, and one that has been long gone, unfortunately, is Matches 965. The channel's not gone. Unfortunately, Matches is no longer with us. But that channel has some gems, and it's just a bounty of information of pipe information. It's just like I've never seen anyone so passionate about pipe tobacco or tobacco in general. And I say this about some things. Outdoor Boys, Luke from Outdoor Boys is another one that I cite often. But when you see someone so passionate about something, even if it's just something that they do as like a menial day-to-day hobby or just a regular part of their life, in the case of Matches 965, being smoking tobacco, but just the passion that he had for pipe tobacco, the collection that he had collected of pipes and of various tobaccos, and all the memories that he shared with his individual pipes, and all the memories that he attached to certain blends, and all the memories that he could just recall by sitting down and enjoying a pipe and share so casually with all these strangers, virtually strangers on YouTube. It was really inspiring to me. So I just discovered Matches earlier this year. And if any of you guys are familiar with Matches 965, you'll know that his favorite blend was Cornell and Deal's Haunted Bookshop. This is a big burley forward blend. You could classify it as a Virginia burley, I believe. But it's got a huge ratio of burley. It is very highly touted, but it's also really divisive. I think a lot of burleys are like that, just because they're really strong. They tend to be really strong. They tend to be pretty heavily flavored. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. They have a very unique flavor, a very unique musky, earthy flavor that I think some people are put off by. And so burleys are sort of, like I said, they're just really divisive. But Matches 965 had a great love for this tobacco, and I have given it a couple chances. I tried it when I first got it and found it to be a little acrid and off-putting. But after opening it 2 months following that, I had a pretty decent bowl out of it, but I figured I'd put it away for about 6 months, as I saw a lot of recommendations for, and see what that did for it. But I'm definitely not giving up on it, and I look forward to try Haunted Bookshop again. So that is going to get its own corner, being the first burley forward blend. Here's a empty jar of 507C. Good stuff. That was the first ounce I had. And that's what inspired me to stock up on it so heavily. Not very heavily, but definitely heavier than anything I have. Here we have 500 African Queen. I think this is Sutliff. Bit of a strange one. This is one I just picked up on my first tobacco order because it looked kind of interesting to me. I'm going to go shut that off. So yes, back to where we were. 500 African Queen. Where did I set that? Here we go. 500 African Queen. Like I said, a bit of a strange one. It's just another one of those random sort of aromatic blends that's topped with something. I think there's some chocolate in here and maybe some fruits. I feel like I've detected dates. And yeah, really all I can remember is a lot of chocolate and dates. It was one of the earlier tobaccos I tried, so I wasn't really good at identifying those sorts of things yet. But 500 African Queen, it was an okay one. I don't know if I'd buy it again, and I don't know if I'll ever finish this ounce. I will eventually, or I'll use it as incense, or we'll do something with it. That's going to go back there with go up here with the 7Cs in the aromatic category. All right, moving on. We have Sutliff's Black Raspberry. This is a good one. This is an aromatic tobacco, obviously. Very heavily flavored aromatic tobacco. You open this up and it just has a wonderful, I have to open it right now, just thinking about it. Just a delicious, like, fig Newton or like a raspberry Newton smell. It smells like a juicy raspberry candy or like a nice raspberry preserve or jam over like a chocolate cake. The smell is wonderful. This is one of the best smelling tobaccos I have. And you could say it smells chemically or like a Swisher Sweet or something, but something about it is so endearing to me. And it smokes well. It probably will lose a bit of its flavor by the time I smoke through this whole 2 ounces. I don't know why. I had 1 ounce of it. I really liked it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna get 2 ounces of it on my next order, and I just flung it all over my table. So I have a little less of it now, but anyway, I'm gonna keep that in there because I get a little carried away like that sometimes, and silly stuff happens. Anyway, Sutliff's Black Raspberry, good blend. A nice fruit flavored aromatic. If anybody's interested in those, if anybody likes raspberry flavored stuff, I love raspberry flavored stuff, and I like this blend, so I can condone that. Next we have Pirate Cake. Pirate Cake's a good one. I will talk about Colt Blood Red Moon because it's very similar to Sutliff's Black Raspberry, and then we'll get into Pirate Cake. Colt Blood Red Moon was actually, it was Orlik Golden Slice and Colt Blood Red Moon that I got as my first tens, and my Peterson My Mix 965 came the next week. Blood Red Moon's a good one. Blood Red Moon was another one of those where I opened the tin and I was just blown away by the smell. Like, the smell is remarkable. It smells like, some people say it smells like cough syrup, once again, but I love it. Something about it is just so appetizing to me. It smells like a chocolate cherry cake, like a cherry cordial cake, and I hate maraschino cherries. And it just tastes like, it smells like a beautiful, rich chocolate cake with like a little bit of like cherry syrup or cherry cordial or something in there. Maybe a little bit chemically. I don't mind it though. And it smokes just like it smells, in my opinion. I think it has a robust cherry chocolate flavor. This is probably the best flavored aromatic that I have, that I've tasted, the most distinctly flavored, and Colt Blood Red Moon is definitely one of my favorite aromatics. It's also a very divisive blend, and the people who like it though really like it, tend to really like it, and I fall in that category pretty snugly. So it's going to go over here with the aromatics, and here's the tin. If any of you are curious, beautiful tin, cool little art. I like the sort of like alternative art style. Fits, looks really good. I like the name. I just like the whole vibe of Colt Blood Red Moon. And I think this is the last of the jarred tobacco. Certainly not the least. It's Cornell and Diehl's Pirate Cake. I love Cornell and Diehl's Pirate Cake. This is a Latakia bomb. This is a Latakia heavyweight. This is like the most Latakia that I would expect to even taste in a blend, unless I'm smoking straight blending tobacco. I'm getting carried away because I'm so enthusiastic about Pirate Cake, but you would have to smoke straight blending Latakia to get a heavier Latakia ratio than this. And anything more than this would be arbitrary because you would just be smoking Latakia. It's 75% Latakia. Though it does have some nice Oriental lace through there to kind of give it a little bit of suggestion of some fun flavor going on. But it is Latakia dominant. It's leathery. It leaves a nice smell in your mustache. I've heard that most people don't like the smell all that much. My girlfriend personally likes the smell. I don't mind the smell. I usually don't even smell it because I'm smoking it as I'm you know I'm not very I get really nose blind to things pretty quickly, and when I'm smoking something, there's little chance of me being able to walk in a room and smell it unless it's been a couple hours. So Pirate Cake's a good one. That's going to go back there with my English blends. So as you can see, let me get some of this swept up. And so now we've got it laid out a little easier. Here we have aromatic blends. Here we have our Virginia Periques, our straight Virginias, our Englishes, and little old sad haunted bookshop in the corner by itself. And that will be it for the jarred tobacco. So if you guys have been following, I've been smoking the pipe since April. And if this is any indication, I got really into the tobacco acquisition in the first couple months. If any of you guys are pipe smokers, then you're probably familiar with what I'm talking about, but you just want to try all these things. You have this huge, just plethora of things online, huge, just insane variety of things to try online at all different quantities and all different price points. And it's just really easy to fall into. And yeah, I fell into it pretty hard. So this is the jarred tobacco. We're going to get into the 10 stuff. We got probably my least favorite 10. I made a video on this. I was very indifferent about it in the video, but I've come to dislike this tobacco quite a bit. I don't know what it is about it. It's got a funkiness. It's got a funkiness that I don't like. It's got a raisininess that I don't like. I don't know what it is, but I'm not a big fan of chocolate raisins or that sort of like musty raisiny flavor mixed with like sweet chocolate flavors. This has a good deal of chocolate and raisin. I don't know if it's just off from the age. It is old tobacco. It is from 2016, and so it's 8 years old. So for an aromatic, it could have done some weird stuff in that 8 years. I don't know. I still crack it open and smoke a bowl every now and then. In fact, I have a bowl packed in the other room just because I want to give it a little bit of appreciation, and I don't want to have wasted my money on this tobacco. But frankly, I mean, I opened it quite a while ago, and we have almost a whole 10 here. I don't think I'm going to get through this entire 10. There's just not much reason in forcing myself to when I have all this other delicious stuff to smoke. So I'm just going to go back here. We're up here with the other aromatics. I'll go with another aromatic. Peterson Sweet Killarney. Sweet Killarney is, Sweet Killarney I believe is caramel flavored. Unique mixture of selected tobaccos, including Virginia Burley, Maryland, blended with Supply Cavendish and topped. Yeah, so this is like Virginia Burley Cavendish topped with a caramel cream flavor, which I'm excited about. I love caramel. I love the little caramel cream candies. My grandma and I used to enjoy those together quite a bit, and I believe this will bring back some good memories, maybe. So if this tastes anything like those, I look forward to that. Peterson's Sweet Killarney. Peterson's Irish Whiskey is an aromatic. It is topped with, you could probably guess, it's topped with Irish whiskey, and I believe it's got some Kentucky fired. Yeah, it's got some dark fired Kentucky in here. Thailand Burley. So yeah, dark fired Kentucky. Look forward to trying dark fired Kentucky. This probably will be my first blend with it that I try, and it's got an Irish whiskey flavor or topping. I love Irish whiskey. Like I've only had Jameson, Tullamore Dew, and like one cheaper Irish whiskey. I can't remember what the name was, but I've enjoyed all Irish whiskey I've had, and I love like a Jameson and ginger ale. So I look forward to Peterson's Irish whiskey. Also on the aromatic pile, we have Nording Seaweed. This is another strange one. I got this at the same time as the Chacombe St. Claude, and so I think it might be of a similar age. And so I don't know about that. This is also an aromatic tobacco. I think this is another vanilla sort of flavor. It doesn't really state on the tin, but I think this is like a vanilla forward aromatic tobacco. Not sure how to feel about that. I haven't cracked it open. I don't know when I will. But that's Nording Seaweed. University Flake. University Flake, I believe, is a Virginia flake, maybe mildly topped. Peterson's University Flake. I think I've heard that this has a mild plum topping. Though I may be mistaken. Peterson's University Flake, another Virginia tobacco. Two tins of Peterson's Balkan Mixture, because I like Star of the East. I like my Mixture 965. I like Byzantium. I assume I'm going to like most Balkan blends. I like Peterson. So I got 2 tins of Balkan Mixture, just in case I really like the first. Back here with the Englishes. And also, in the same vein, 2 tins of Early Morning Pipe, because this is a very highly touted English blend. Another good Peterson blend, and I love the graphic of Early Morning Pipe. Love the graphic of Early Morning Pipe. And so I got 2 tins of Early Morning Pipe. Another tin of My Mix 965. Love My Mix 965. I still haven't gotten over the weird, like, prickly feeling, but I love the first half of the bowl of 965, and so I got another tin of 965. Here we are. Keep piling those up. Here we have Peterson Nightcap. Very similar. Sort of the trifecta English blends. Trifecta of English blends from Peterson could be considered Nightcap, Early Morning Pipe, and My Mixture 965. Nightcap has some Dark Fire Kentucky in it, if I'm not mistaken. I think I am mistaken. Latakia, Small Leaf, Oriental, Orient, and Perique. Okay, so it's the Perique I was thinking about. This has some Perique in it to give it a little bit of punchiness, a little bit of incensey flavor, and I think it has a higher Latakia ratio than the other two. I'm excited to try Peterson's Nightcap. Also, beautiful tin art. I love tin art. This is another heavy hitter. This one caught my eye initially. I looked at the Peterson's lineup. They all have really wonderful tin art. My Mix 965. It reminds me of the Magic the Gathering logo, if anyone's familiar. Gives me like that whimsical fantasy sort of vibe. I love it. And Nightcap, it's very hobbitish to me. This makes me think of a hobbit getting ready for bed, getting all those little things in order, having a little bedtime snack, and then getting his things in order to go to bed, and having one last bowl out of a long clay tobacco pipe before turning in. So that's what the tin reminds me of, makes me think of. And I think similar to the Nightcap will be Black House, another really Latakia rich Oriental sort of tobacco, or Balkan sort of tobacco. I think it might be described. Black House. Going back here with the Englishes. All right. I think the last Peterson tin we have is Peterson's 3 Ps. I think I'm going to consider this an aromatic because I believe it has a liquor topping. It's a plug. This is a Burley Forward. This is the only plug tobacco that I have. I have not tried it yet. I haven't opened it up. I'm excited to. I want to process a plug, see what that's like, see if it's as hard as people say it is, and I want to also work my way up to this sort of nicotine level because I hear this has a crazy nicotine punch. I'm kind of a nicotine wuss, so if we get there, we'll get there. So that's going to go back with the Haunted Bookshop. All right, we're getting there. Oh, one last Peterson. Hyde Park, the 5-year-old Hyde Park that I got right here in Bloomington. along with the Chacoam St. Claude and the Nording Seaweed at the Briar and the Burley. Peterson's Hyde Park. This is a good one. This is another Burley dominant blend, Burley Virginia. I like this one a lot. Since I've had my first impression of it, I smoked most of the 10, I think. And this is, it's hard to see because it's relatively flat, but I smoked over half this 10. And as far as tin tobacco goes, I think this is the one that I've smoked most frequently and most absent-mindedly. I would just pack a pipe. I want a pipe. This is a good moisture. It's a good unoffensive blend. It's not too strongly flavored, and so I can just throw it in the pipe and enjoy it. And it's always rich and, you know, well flavored. Very, very pronounced, delicious flavors. But it's not. I guess rich is the wrong word. It's not overwhelming in any sort of way, and it doesn't take a special taste or a special mood. So Peterson's Hyde Park is a good one. That's going to go back here with the other Burleys. Okay, so let's move on to the Cornell and Diehl tins. I have 4, I believe. I got Cornell and Diehl Black Frigate. This is a rum topped tobacco, I think. Yeah, Latakia and Turkish are added to our Blockade Runner Navy Cavendish. Virginia soaked and aged in rum to produce a true Royal Navy blend. And so it says Blockade Runner is a Virginia soaked and aged in rum mixed with the Latakia and such to make a sort of an English aromatic hybrid blend. I look forward to trying Black Frigate. Like I said, I think I'm going to like the liquor topped tobaccos. And so I think I'll put this with the aromatics here. Next we have Star of the East Flake, very similar to the Star of the East. A lot of people say Star of the East Flake is the way to go for Star of the East. I don't expect there to be too much of a difference in flavor profile, but I look forward to see nonetheless, and just to smoke more Star of the East. So Star of the East Flake. It's going to go with the Virginia blends. Oh yeah, same as Star of the, it's Star of the East. I think I described Star of the East pretty well earlier as just like a good, solid Oriental blend, Balkan blend. That's a good one. Cornell and Diehl's opening night. This is a straight Virginia, and I hear a lot of good things about this straight Virginia. I like straight Virginias once again. Opening night is supposed to be a good light, well flavored straight Virginia blend. So look forward to this one. It's going to go back here with those. And finally, for the Cornell and Diehl, is just another tin of Pirate Cake. I've talked about Pirate Cake. Great blend. Let's move on to Presbyterian. Presbyterian is another very simple, sort of inoffensive English blend. I hear. Haven't tried it yet, obviously. Look forward to trying it. I hear it's in the same vein as Early Morning Pipe, so I might like to try those around the same time to give them a comparison. But I love the tin art Presbyterian. Very simple, very quaint. Reminds me of like medieval manuscripts. Presbyterian, beautiful blend. Beautiful tin. I mean, I've heard it's a beautiful blend. Yet to be the judge. That's going to go with the other Englishes. Alrighty. Moving on. I think we're getting down to the last of them. And I think those are going to be these two beauties right here, one of which I'm enjoying. Full Virginia Flake. I like Full Virginia Flake. It's a good Virginia. It is a bitch to smoke. Not gonna lie, it is a bear. There is a lot of moisture in it. I've had this tin open for over a month now, I believe. Made a video about it well over a month ago. And I just packed this pipe full of it, and it's still moist. I was expecting, it's been open for over a month now. Maybe it's come down to a decent temperature just to pack and go. Still a little moist. I'm still having trouble keeping it lit. So definitely keep that in mind with Full Virginia Flake. Give it ample drying time, or give it a good blast in the microwave or whatever. But Full Virginia Flake is a good one. It is hard to come by most of the time. I think it's just because Samuel Gawith doesn't have the means to make a huge production every year, and there's some really big fans of Samuel Gawith, and just that combination of of high demand and low supply makes it pretty hard to come by. But there was a really ample drop this year, and this was available for weeks. And so I snagged a 10 of it just to try. I'll probably get another 10 or two next time it becomes available. But Full Virginia Flake is a good one. But it's a little pricey. I would say this is somewhere around $15 to 10 when you can get something like 507C for less than half the price, literally less than half the price. And I would argue 507C is preferable to me personally, to my taste. That's just because it has like a fresher, grassier sort of taste. I'm excited to see how it develops with age, but this is not a bad one, and it definitely deserves its reputation. And so that's going to go with the other Virginias. And finally, a 10 I am very excited about. I think this was in my top 7 most anticipated video. I think it shared a spot with the Full Virginia Flake. And it's going to be HH Pure Virginia from Mac Baren. And for a lot of the same reasons that I was excited to try Full Virginia Flake, I'm excited to try HH Pure Virginia. I just like Virginias, and I'm excited to hear or to experience all these just renowned Virginias that people go crazy about on the internet. I hear all kinds of stuff about them. They got a lot of strong followers. So I look forward to trying this HH Pure Virginia, and I'll definitely give you guys my thoughts on that when the time comes. And that's actually not it, because I have a fat old sack of half and half. I have not tried it yet, but I have six pouches here, and a pouch of Borkum Riff with bourbon. I'm not excited to try this. I've not heard great things about it, and I don't know why I bought it. I think I went to the tobacco store, and I was just like really awkward and didn't want to walk in there and turn around. I went in to see if they had pipe tobacco. It was just like a cigarette tobacco, like a cigarette store, basically. And I walk in, their pipe tobacco was Captain Black and Borkum Riff. So I was like, because I'd heard that they had big sacks of half and half at this particular chain of tobacco store. I was like, I guess I'll buy something. So I'm not just walking in here looking like a fool and then turning around and leaving. So I got the Borkum Riff. I don't know if I'll try that, but that's going to go with the other aromatics. And I went to another of the same chain, and they did indeed have a big old sack of half and half. I have opened a pouch because I intended to make a video about it, but that was right before my move, and I didn't get the video recorded before it was time to move, and so everything kind of got mixed up. The bowl of half and half I had prepared got lost in the shuffle, and I never smoked it, and I never reviewed it or gave a first impression. And so that is still yet to come. But here is the open pouch of half and half. I'll get around to it sometime soon. I got a lot of it to work through, so I hope I like it. And if I don't, there are plenty of you out there who I'm sure love half and half. And I feel like this would be a good one just to, not that I would encourage anyone to start smoking tobacco, but I have friends who do already dabble a little bit in other tobacco products, who have, one of my friends has bought a pipe and some tobacco, and I've yet to hear his thoughts on it because it was really recent. But anyway, I think this would be a good one to just, shell out to people so they could try pipe tobacco, if they were interested. If I happen not to like it, but that will finish us off, half and half. And so we'll do a quick overview, and we'll make it quick because I have talked your ears off, and this is definitely by far my longest video yet. We have over in this corner all of the Virginia blends. 6 jars, 4 of which are 507C, and all my 10 Virginia blends. Here we have our Virginia Periques, our aromatics. Nice little stash of aromatics, a good variety of aromatics, and a lot of half and half. Our Burleys. I'd like to build a more sizable collection of Burleys, and I say it a lot in my videos, but I love English blends, and as you can see, English blends are by far the heaviest category of all these. I got a good variety of 10 stuff there. I got a good variety of Peterson stuff to try, Hearth and Home. I got a lot of English blends. I got a lot of good tobacco, but a lot of these really cool English blends that I can't wait to break into. I can't wait to share with all of you guys. But As I said, I'm not really going to organize this all too much right now. I was just trying to get everything staged. I'll make it a little neater on this table, and I'll get my pipes laid out with it, and so on and so forth. I'll probably put all this stuff on the lower level, or a good majority of it, and then have the pipes laid out across the top. But anyway, we'll get there when we'll get there. This is what I've got for now. I just wanted to get all this stuff unpacked and finally out somewhere where I can deal with it further. And I thought, what better way to do that than to share it with you guys? Be a good video material, and it would help incentivize me to get it done. And so here we are, my amateur collection of pipe tobacco. This is about, like I said, I've been smoking since April, so this is something like 10 months, 10 months worth of progress. And most of the stuff was collected within, 3 months, 2 or 3 months, very soon after starting. So that is my beginner pipe tobacco collection. That is my pipe tobacco collection. I would definitely consider myself a beginner, taste-wise and collection-wise. There's still a ton of stuff that I'd like to get my hands on, but obviously I got a lot of stuff to work through. And so I think my philosophy now is to work through that and save as much money as I can in the process. And so I think I reached that limit of mindfulness where I realized that, maybe I need to just take some time with what I've got and leave some more time to try other stuff. So if you made it to the end of this long, long video, I'm sorry for talking all your ears off, but if you've made it this far, I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you like some of these tobaccos that I've shown. If you're a fan of any of these tobaccos in particular, go ahead and leave me a comment about it, and tell me why you like the tobacco. Tell me how you got into the tobacco, maybe. If you have any thoughts about my personal thoughts on any of these tobaccos, I'd love to hear them. And yeah, I just really wanted to share all this with you guys, and I look forward to hearing anything that you guys have to say about it. Any responses. As I always say, this is why I do this, to interact with all of you guys at the end of the day. And I'm just excited to share with you all. So I'm going to stop yapping now. I got to get all this stuff a little bit tidied up, get ready for bed, and get to bed. And I think I'm going to do that. So without further ado, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.